Guide Dogs of Texas provides quality guide dogs to Texans who are visually impaired to increase their freedom, mobility, and independence. We do this work 4 paws and 2 feet at a time, but for every guide dog team, there are 100 people behind the scenes, cheering them on, learning from their courage, and supporting their progress. Donors, volunteers, staff, friends, and family members are all essential parts of the guide dog community. Jennifer is a volunteer puppy raiser with Guide Dogs of Texas. With her is a puppy in training named Finn.
I believe that Finn loves his job. You know, he gets to go with me everywhere. We have become so bonded. And on the very rare occasion that I'm not taking Finn with me and I'm leaving my house, it always kind of makes me sad a little bit when I look over at him and he's looking up at me like, "You're leaving without me?" So I think Finn really enjoys being out with me. He enjoys being out in public. He enjoys the attention, and he's just the sweetest thing wherever we go. One of the beautiful things about the organization is that there are so many different roles for volunteers. And those roles also have a variety of different commitment levels, because as we all know, most of us are extremely busy, so it's a beautiful thing. You can do something as involved as this and something with a little bit less of a commitment level, but no one role is any less important than the next, because it truly takes a village.
Marshall is an applicant for a guide dog from Guide Dogs of Texas. He was recently matched with guide dog Duncan. They've been together for only a few days and are learning how to work together with the help of a guide dog mobility instructor.
I feel like my guide dog fits my personality. When I was on the matching interview and we went to take our first little walk, he jumped up and was at attention and ready to go. And when we were back here in the house, he was ready to kind of chill and have fun. And so he knows where business is business and pleasure is pleasure. And just the fact that I could tell that he's really amped to go and to be out and to do things. And that's exactly how I am. So I feel like he fits my personality very well. But some of the differences is that when you're learning how to use a cane, you have to make all of the executive decisions as far as what's going to be the best route to go, what's going to be the safest way to do things, and sometimes it can take a while to figure out those obstacles versus the dog can plan that out for you as you're coming up to it, and there's no surprises. At least not yet. You can pretty much rely on the dog to take you in the safest way possible. I would tell somebody who's considering donating to Guide Dogs of Texas to think of it as an investment in helping somebody further their independence within their community. I chose Guide Dogs of Texas to receive my guide dog for a couple of different reasons. One, the dogs are going to be trained in your home environment before you receive them. Texas has some harsh summers and decent winters, and in the north, where a lot of dogs are trained, they don't necessarily have harsh summers. I need a dog that's going to be able to travel in the conditions that I travel in, and I travel outside a lot. That was one reason I went to Guide Dogs of Texas. The other one being is that whenever I did contact them, their staff was real professional and respectful to me and my needs. When they came to do the initial interview, I could tell that they needed to gather all the information needed to make sure that they matched me with the best dog. And I'm glad that I did go with Guide Dogs of Texas.
Guide dog Dexter has graduated from the puppy program and is in advanced training. He has spent the last 6 months learning how to guide a blind person safely from a guide dog mobility instructor. While Bethany walks with her eyes closed with Dexter, Sarah teaches them how to communicate and move together, and gives Dexter valuable experience for when he's matched with a client. Guide dogs avoid obstacles and indicate overhead branches, curbs, and street crossings. They can find destinations like buses, benches, crosswalk buttons, and more. Guide dogs in training learn to ignore even exciting distractions in the environment. Gary and guide dog Callie are a team who graduated together about 6 months ago. It can sometimes take up to a year for a white cane user to adjust to navigating with a guide dog. Let's hear what Gary has to say.
Callie really shined on my last ski trip that I went on. There were about 350 disabled veterans there, and I don't know how many guide dogs, and a lot of wheelchairs. And she really got me through all the obstacles, getting me to and from my room and to the elevator, and just getting me around. She did really good. Before I got my guide dog, my hardest mobility challenges were just finding doors, finding buildings, trying to get from one place to another. The most important things Callie does is get me places easier. Sometimes I'm not quite sure where we're going, but I know I'm going to get there. Everybody likes Callie. She's been a big impact at home. My wife loves her, and I have to keep her away from her sometimes. Just so that I can spend more time with her.
Pete and guide dog Chance have been together since November of 2014. Chance was Pete's first guide dog. He was matched with Pete in part because of his strength working in complicated urban settings and his great demeanor and concentration around kids.
Went blind at the age of 13 with a detached retina. Family loves him, especially the children. They go crazy every time when he wakes up in the morning and they have to say goodnight. The guide dog really shined on a walk going to a shell store one day. Got to the corner to get ready to cross. I didn't hear a car coming. I assumed it was safe to cross. And next thing I know, I hear the car rev up and Chance just stops right in the middle of the street and waits for the car to pass. What it feels like to walk down the sidewalk with my guide dog, it's real enjoyable. I love it because with every walk, it's faster pace. It's I talk with him. Not only do I talk to him, I can tell him my thoughts, what I'm thinking, and can't believe I'm saying it, every once in a while I sing with him. The most important things my dog will do for me is keeping me safe when we're out and about in walks, crossing the streets, and making sure I get to where I need to go properly. Where I go with my guide dog, I go everywhere with him, to stores, church, to meetings, job interviews, just about everywhere.
You've heard from a puppy raiser about how these amazing guide dogs have touched her and her family. You had a glimpse into a training session for a guide dog in advanced training with a certified guide dog mobility instructor. You saw a guide dog applicant navigate with a white cane and discuss the excitement of getting matched with his first guide dog. Finally, you heard from some of our recent graduates talking about how their lives were changed when they became part of a guide dog team. Since the filming of this video, Marshall, the gentleman you saw with a cane, has graduated with his guide dog Duncan. Their journey together is just beginning. Guide Dogs of Texas is based in San Antonio, but our instructors live all over Texas. At Guide Dogs of Texas, clients don't have to travel out of state and live in a dorm in order to learn to use a guide dog. Our instructors will help them learn in their own community. Most instructors have at least one story about piloting a minivan, up an unpaved road to someplace not even on a map somewhere in Texas because we had a team there that needed our help. The transition from a white cane to a guide dog opens up new possibilities for independence and mobility. Clients who travel, attend conferences, or go to school will find that new routes can be learned much more easily by a team than was ever possible when navigating alone with a cane. The handler and guide dog use their combined senses, knowledge, and problem-solving skills to provide a higher level to safety than ever before. The job of a guide dog is to provide greater independence and mobility, and this goal drives our client selection and training. Still, many clients find that the companionship of being part of a team enriches their lives in ways they never expected. At Guide Dogs of Texas, we feel that each guide dog applicant is unique. We honor that difference with the careful matching and individualized training for each guide dog and every team. We believe every guide dog, every volunteer, every sponsor, every staff member, and every guide dog team changes our community for the better every day.